Emily Dickinson passed away on this day in 1886, heard in the United States of 19th century. I'm sure you knew that. And she was quite concerned with death. I think when she was 14 years old, a cousin of hers died, and I think she was quite affected by that. And she wrote quite a lot about it. And this is one of her poems. If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain. And I thought I'd like to do a poem of my own, which is kind of about that question about, you know, what does life add up to? The background to it is on the 15th of October 1972, a cow grazing near the town of Trujillo in Venezuela was killed by a meteorite. It's the only known example we've got of sentient life killed by an object from outer space. And this poem is addressed to that cow, and it's called Newspaper Left on a Train. I doubt that many cows understand the manner of their death. You might have heard the sonic boom, and then you may, if you did not die instantly, have been conscious of your smashed neck and shoulder, and actually stared at the boulder, and known it was connected to your closing. Like you, I didn't know it happened on the 15th of October, because in 1972, I was only 4 years old. I hadn't learnt about time and dates. Like you, I couldn't pronounce Trujillo and Venezuela, and a sort of farmer was pulling me by the nose through sums and stories, my first term at school, my first fences and gates. Now, I read in a newspaper left on a train that you are distinguished as being the only sentient life documented as ever having been killed by a meteorite. And when I lie dying, I should expect to know more than you. But what's my story? What does it add up to? What will I see? A farmer come to lead me through an open gate with his hand on my shoulder? Will I grasp some cosmic order? Or will I have no idea what's hit me? Like a boulder. Will people laugh a bit when they remember me? This train hurtles fast through so much scenery. And, I've got another poem by Emily Dickinson. It's called Wild Nights. Wild nights, were I with thee, wild nights should be our luxury. Futile the winds to a heart in port, done with the compass, done with the charts. Rowing in Eden, the sea, might I but more tonight in thee. And just like finishing my own poem about the sea. It's called Jonah. Jonah, he lived in a whale. Jonah, he lived in a whale. He made his home in that fish's abdomen. Jonah, he lived in a whale. Oh, Jonah, I have heard the story of your epic journey across the sea from Joppa. The night hanging heavy on the crew's haggard limbs, on the hull the sudden blunt butt of waves, in the sail the petulant scream of wind that slaps its rain in the faces of 6 sailors that no one can hear. They're throwing their cargo, profanity and prayer, into the chasms of water. And you are below deck, not sick, not racked with terror, just asleep like a proper Messiah. Then comes the dislocation of the mast, the snapping stanchions, salt-scoured eyes straining for a calm reason. But a fever of disrepair has those 6 sailors fumbling for the drawstrings of blame. They shake you, and you open up for them, making such a grand confession. You have reneged on a holy mission. The storm is your due punishment. So as their fear rears in a last split of thunder, they throw you down through the sucking water, down to the bottom of that shuddering ocean, where weeds reach for your soul. Now comes the miracle. Now comes the humour. A huge fish swallows you through its gullet and into the softness of its belly. There, amongst the krill and tiny plankton, you swear to your God in his solid sanctum that you will be his prophet and missionary. The fish sickens, spews you out on dry sand, and you come here to take your stand in Nineveh. But it ain't necessarily so. It ain't necessarily so. I was a harbour girl in Joppa. I sat on the quay, sewing old stories, mending failed nets. Yes, I do know my right hand from my left. And I was one of those who rowed out to help your boat in that storm. We found you curled in the hold below deck. The 6 brave sailors had been washed from the wreck, while you had succumbed to a stunned disinterest, wrapped in your vomit and a comfort of loneliness. As a grey dawn seemed to ease back the storm, we towed that vessel ashore, left it beached like a dead cetacean, and you stepped out, an embarrassment to us all, in Joppa. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. In Joppa, the sea was something I sat and sang beside. But after that storm, I came here to Nineveh to become an astronomer, to find some science behind my wonder. Then you turned up, claiming to be a prophet, an heroic preacher of divine justice, planting a tale tall enough to remain in the imagination of generations, to shade your fear of your cowardice. We will all make up stories, but we cannot construct truth. The truth is intangible, often unknowable, but real, immutable, and eternal. It is something of God. Without it, we remain in a tempest, meaningless, bereft, not even knowing our right hand from our left. But if we can believe in truth and have the courage to even just glimpse it, the truth can set us free to become that which we should be.